Sure glad I'm not the one in charge.
You wouldn't make a good leader anyway, Shaggy. Hey everybody, Bandicoot Commando here, and welcome back to Multiverses. Last time,
A lot of fighters to choose from, man.
I did some matches with Morty, and I'm gonna sneeze in a moment. Or not. It went away. Okay, so yeah, I did some matches with Morty here. Today, it's time to do some with Shaggy. Just for an update on things, pretty much near the end of Season 2 here, like, yeah, only 7 this week. So, I believe Season 3 will start in the next week, which is also the same week that this video and the next one will be going up. So, yeah. The only thing I haven't completed is this, and I doubt I'm going to be able to complete this in time, which kind of sucks, but I do believe, let me check to make sure. Yeah, they now have, like, the circuit drone stuff available, and man, this Matrix stuff is getting on my nerves to see. Yes, I believe that, you can get your gems leveled up still, including the toasty one. So if I can't get it in time, then yeah, I can just use some Gleamium to get it to the max level, because that's just all it would be. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get to it and do a few battles.
Whoa, like don't sneak up on a guy like that.
Okay, we have Shaggy here. Shaggy, one of the main characters of the Scooby-Doo Where Are You? Or just the Scooby-Doo franchise. Debuting way back in 1969. Very groovy time it was. The show revolved around a group of teenagers, at least that's what they're meant to be, and their dog mascot for their little group. The gang consists of Fred Jones, Daphne Blake, Velma Dinkley, Shaggy. Fun fact to those who don't know, Shaggy is just more of a nickname. His real name is actually Norville. Yes. Not just Norville, though. Norville Rogers. That's his full name. And, of course, Scooby-Doo. Now, Shaggy's character in the show is essentially that he's a bit on the cowardly side. Well, both he and Scooby are on that side. And in Scoob's case, it's a little egregious considering that he's a Great Dane, and although Great Danes are gentle giant dogs, they can be brave and, like, they can be strong. I mean, I had a friend who had a Great Dane, and she knew how to push and knock people around, that's for sure. Not intentionally, but still. And I was about maybe 9, 10. It was about anywhere from 10 to 12 when I met this dog, so yeah. Anyway, Shaggy's character is basically similar to Scooby's, is that the two of them are, I mean, I don't want to say cowards, because while they are cowardly, they still pull through and help the gang out in the end. But for the most part, they would rather just stay out of danger, and they would just, yeah, rather stay out of danger and just relax and eat. And just do other fun stuff, really. But as I said, they're still friends, and they're willing to go through everything they need to help the gang and for justice. But enough of that. Let's get to Shaggy's moveset. For starters, Shaggy is a very basic beginner character. He is actually designed for the newcomers to this game who've either never played games like this, or alternatively, if they just recently got the game. And by default, Shaggy is the very first character you will have unlocked until you can unlock or buy other characters. Now, for his moveset, Shaggy's neutral attack, just a wind-up punch. Just one big punch that he winds up and everything. It's probably one of his strongest moves, and he gains armor while he's charging it, so it hits hard. It's just a very hard-hitting move. Damn, BJ, why won't you die? I mean, I'm gonna lose this fight anyway. For Shaggy's side attack, it's just a 1-2 punch, and then he ends it with a headbutt. Pretty basic and simple, and if you know how to quickly break out of combos and stop, you can link one thing to another. For his up attack, Shaggy just does like a little overhead swing with his arm. It hits pretty good, and it's chargeable. For his down attack, Shaggy does a stomp. Now, there's one or two things you can do with this stomp. You can either just end it there, or if you press down square, down attack again, Shaggy will then follow up the stomp with a clap that will do some knockback and damage. And humorously hurt his hands a bit, but it doesn't damage him. Or, oh yeah, and the down attack is also chargeable too. And it gains a purple aura, so use that for armor busting. For Shaggy's aerial versions of these moves, first off, this costume. This costume is Uncle Shagworthy. Believe it or not, Shaggy has quite the family. Like, I think, it varies from community of the shows, but basically, yeah, he's, not a lot of people know it, but Shaggy actually comes from quite a wealthy family. Or at least, his relatives are wealthy. He's got his uncle here, and he's got another uncle who apparently, another uncle who's pretty rich as well. Or at least, not as rich to the same degree as Shagworthy here. Anyway, Shagworthy only appeared in one show, I believe. And it wasn't in the original Scooby-Doo Where Are You? It was in the, I believe it was either in... What was it? Hold on, now I gotta look to make sure. Here we are. Uncle Shagworthy. His zillionaire uncle. The Scooby-Doo show, that's where it appeared in. Whoops. The Scooby-Doo show was like a sequel. Hold on a sec. Let me just... why are we jittering? I mean, the video's jittering on my end because I was on the internet for a brief moment, just so that I could get a reminder on which show he was from. But yeah, he was just Shaggy's rich uncle, and there was a mystery to be solved because I believe Shagworthy was missing some objects, or at least some priceless object, and he had his nephew and friends figure out what it was. Anyway, back to the movesets here. Shaggy's neutral aerial is that he'll shuffle his feet in a kicking motion as he falls down. It's actually it's pretty handy, and it's good to, like, to put the opponent in hit stun and to follow up with more combos. For the side air, Shaggy will do a kick with his knee. It's kind of like Captain Falcon or Ganondorf's attacks from Smash Bros. And it is like Captain Falcon, minus the part that it doesn't have a sweet spot. Oh, it does wear off.
Blue
That's
team, you're
interesting.
totally winning.
I thought when you use that, the aura move, Shaggy aura stays until you use it, but no, it goes away if you take too long to use it. Okay then. Moving on. Shaggy's up air it's similar to his down. He just does an overhead swing, but it's not chargeable. And then finally, for his down, Shaggy just does a downwards, he does a downward swing with both of his arms. Don't worry, I'll get to the specials and everything. We're about to get there. Nice.
Nice work, man.
Yeah, I briefly forgot to get started, but, you know, we hardly started. We did some damage here and there. So, for Shaggy's specials, his neutral, which will not only link to something else, well, not so much as that it links. His neutral, I will say, affects all of his remaining side attacks, or special attacks, but we're gonna go through each one, not just the aerial versions, but when they're both charged and not charged with the aura. So, the neutral special is that Shaggy will begin charging, or it's that he's getting angry, if anything, and he will, yeah, see? You gotta charge a bit, though, until it's complete, but basically, Shaggy charges for a bit, and then once it's complete, he will be enveloped in an aura. Any of your specials you use from there, they will do extra damage and knockback to the opponent, and they will inflict a stack of weaken, which is pretty handy. However, if you input the neutral special again after your charge, if you're close enough to the enemy, Shaggy will dash quickly to them, and he'll do a little, like, burst explosion thing. Of course, I hardly use... Actually, I didn't even use it at all, but I've hardly seen people use it. But it can be quite handy to throw off your opponents.
Nice work, man.
Just a sec.
Time to make the donuts.
Okay, and... Okay, this costume. This costume is mostly original. It's not really based on anything, but it is slightly kind of a reference to Bruce Lee because of how its name is even like, I believe it's like, what do they call it? Now I gotta, why do I have to go back to Multiversus for this? Multiversus Wiki. Okay, yeah, Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo, where are you? I can't believe I just said that. Okay, Shagster. Where is, Okay, here it is. Nope, not that one. Kung Fu Shaggy is what it's called. It's meant to pay homage to Bruce Lee. Anyway, back to business. So, Shaggy's side attack is that he does a flying kick. It's pretty basic and standard, does some good damage, and it's a good recovery. When you are charged with aura, it goes extra further, like so, and it will do extra damage and knockback if you hit with it. And of course, it applies the stacks of weaken. For Shaggy's up special, he will just do an uppercut, a shoryuken. And, you know, that's pretty standard.
I'm getting mad.
There we go. See? Full stacks of weaken. So yeah, the uppercut, the shoryuken as I called it. When charged with aura, Shaggy does like an gains extra height with it, I believe.
Yeah.
And not only that, it has a fire effect to it. And of course, it will,
Alright, here's the plan.
it will, as I said, do weaken and extra damage, blah, blah, blah. For Shaggy's down special, without aura, that is, he'll pull a sandwich out from the ground. And then from there, you can just throw it. It's, you know, it's one of the few he's one of the few characters who can spawn items that you can pick up. Now, here's the interesting thing. There's actually different properties if you have a sandwich and are charged with aura or not. But let's go over when you don't have a sandwich. If you are charged with aura and you use the down special, Shaggy will pound the ground and cause a fiery shockwave.
Nice work,
And if the
man.
fire hits the opponent, yeah, it'll apply damage and weaken on them. If you have a sandwich and you have aura and you throw it, you've probably seen it a few times already, but the sandwich becomes extra big and it gains purple aura. The only time you won't be able to do that though with the sandwich is if you have a certain perk equipped. The hangry perk, I believe it's called. As for the air versions of the moves, they're all the same. Both with and without aura. Or actually no, the down special is different. For the down special, Shaggy will come crashing down, and once he pounds the ground, he just makes a shockwave out of it. It's similar to when Superman comes crashing down after using his up special on the ground. And if it has aura, it works pretty much the same. As soon as he pounds the ground, he will unleash that fiery shockwave in front of him. All in all, Shaggy, as I said, he is, he's meant for beginners, but he is strong once you understand how he works. But the thing is, once you understand how he works, it's predictable on, like, what to do and with strategies and such. Because half of the time, a lot of people will just simply try to go either as far as they can up to the blast zone, to the nothing, and then, especially if they're off screen, where they can't be seen, and then they just charge. And just people rely too much on the aura attacks, but I've seen players who do like a lot of extensive damage, just relying more on his melee. Other than that, the only other thing Shaggy has going for him is that he's... Oh, I forgot. There is one thing he can do.
Not bad if I do say so myself.
Especially with 2v2s. So, when Shaggy is in a 2v2 and he finishes charging with his rage, he will leave behind a box of Scooby
What do you think
snacks.
about that?
If your teammate picks these up, they will be briefly covered in an aura
That's it.
too.
I'm out of here.
This rage aura allows them to, with any attack, doesn't have to be a special attack, with any attack that they hit, to do a little bit of damage and apply weaken. Rick, don't know when to die. There we go. I mean, I lost this match anyway because I messed up.
Time for plan B.
So, all in all, very beginner friendly, helps you learn the basics of the game. That's all I can just emphasize on him. And once you figure out how Shaggy works, you'll just be able to easily find counters to it. But if you want to keep using him,
This guy gets it.
the thing that you can't do
Up and away.
is you can't allow yourself, like, I couldn't allow myself to stay there, but I thought I could charge in time.
Like, where'd I put that sandwich?
This costume, it's very brief, and this guy eventually, like, ended up quitting mid-match. This costume is known as, uh-oh, where'd he go? Showdown Shaggy. Showdown Shaggy was his cowboy outfit that he wore in the movie, the direct-to-video movie, Scooby-Doo Shaggy Showdown, back in 2017. If I remember correctly, that one was, at least early on, was considered the last of those direct-to-video movies for a bit, before they ended up making more. And there is one more costume that actually has a reference to something, so I'll get to it after this. Yeah, just me experimenting and showing off. I really wanted to use my neutral special, or my neutral attack to finish, but I got carried away. Really, all I could say is if you're ever in these kind of matches where your opponent just quits, try to delay the match for as long as you can so you can try and get extra XP out of it. Alright, this should be it. Yep. Ultra Warrior Shaggy, as this costume is called. It's actually a twofer of a reference. While it is primarily pays homage to Chuck Norris, it is, because it uses the word Ultra in it, it is meant to reference the fact that Shaggy and pretty much all of his moveset and such is based on the Ultra Instinct Shaggy meme. And to explain to those who don't know, the Ultra Instinct Shaggy meme was a meme that was, it was around like, roughly like the mid to late 2010s. Yeah, it was like in the 2000s. It was pretty much when, I think it was maybe 2017, 2018 when it was climbing in height. And it was just basically a joke someone made, because the idea was, it's a reference to how the meme originates from the direct-to-video movie Scooby-Doo Legend of the Phantasaur, which I believe that came out in like 2000. When was that? Like 2015, I think? I don't fully remember, but the joke comes from that in the movie, Shaggy sees a hypnosis specialist to try and see if he can cure his being a coward and such, even though that's not how hypnosis works. But at first it seems to have not done the trick, but it turns out that it did work. Anytime Shaggy hears the word bad, he undergoes a complete 180 in his personality. He becomes brave and a bit of a daredevil and just willing to take on anything with little to no, like with no fear or hesitation. Just making him a badass, really. But, the joke came from when he gets into a fight, once he undergoes his, persona change. He gets into a fight at the local bar diner with a big biker gang, and he just kicked all their asses. And someone thought it'd be funny to just, like, put in the Ultra Instinct thing from Dragon Ball Z and just do a bunch of other funny stuff to be like, yeah, Shaggy's a badass. In fact, what's funny is that this whole game is kinda like, this whole game would have not come to be if it actually were not for the Ultra Instinct joke, believe it or not. It's gotten to the point that even, like, Warner Brothers has acknowledged it. Like, case in point, in in the animated Mortal Kombat movies, the second one, the sequel, I forgot its name, like, what was it, Scorpion, The Legend of Scorpion, I believe it's called. When the movie's starting up and you're on the Warner Brothers logo, the previous movie had Daffy. Like, Daffy, usually the animated Warner Brother movies, I don't know if they still do it or not, but what it is that Daffy comes out from the logo and just acts all crazy until Porky snatches him and pulls him back in. But in the Legend of Scorpion, instead of Daffy, it's Scorpion who comes out, and he shows off a few impressive, you know, acrobatics and move sets. And afterwards, though, Shaggy, Ultra Instinct Shaggy, I should say, grabs Scorpion and just pulls him back in through the logo, complete with him mocking him and being like, "Get over here, man!"
Like, dude, true story.
So,
My sword
yeah,
is ready.
that's the whole point of it. To finish it off, if you're curious to know why Shaggy has powers in this game, and not just because of the Ultra Instinct joke, it actually comes from, there is a justification. The tutorial justified it, but before the tutorial justified it, on the official Multiversus website, his character profile is that Shaggy that was an accident. Me doing that was an accident. I was trying to get as close as I can to the edge in order to charge. But anyway, is that before Shaggy got pulled over into the multiverse, what happened was that he found some kind of crystal, and he thought it was some kind of piece of rock candy. And so because of that, he ate it. And it gave him these special powers. And it slightly gave him a confidence boost. But he's still the same old lovable Shaggy. Alrighty. That's about it. There won't be anything left here because after this fight, I lost this fight. Even though I came pretty close to winning, I think. I deserved this win, but sadly it didn't happen. So, yeah. Oh, one more thing. One more thing. I mentioned with Warner Brothers with going along with the Ultra Instinct meme. Matthew Lillard, who voices Shaggy, and to those who don't know, he actually played Shaggy in the live-action Scooby-Doo movie by James Gunn. Anyway, even Matthew Lillard acknowledged the meme, and he actually was quite pleased to, you know, do this game as Shaggy. He thought it was really funny and hilarious, which, good on him. It's also good to know that he's pretty much the only character who, well, person who voices Shaggy now, ever since Casey Kasem passed away a few years back. No one can truly do the Shaggy voice well. Like, it's not easy to do. Alright.
Better luck next time, dudes.
Well, alright, everyone. Those were my matches as Shaggy. All in all, very well-rounded, very beginner-friendly. That's just all he is, really. He's there for you to understand the, just understand how the game works and the basic controls and such. And, well, he's all you got when you start fresh. And the game really wants you to get the other characters, because when you stick with one character for so long, I don't get how people are willing to stick with one particular character and be like, oh, he's all I need. No, have some variety. Actually have some variety. Show the world that you are not a one-trick pony. Alrighty, that'll do for this session of Multiverses.
A lot of fighters to choose from, man.
Join me next time as we do Steven Universe here. That is it, and I will see you guys next time.
Sure glad I'm not the one in charge.